Hello and welcome back to Legacy of Leaders, where we interview the brightest and most interesting leaders in the community, and today is no different. I'm your host, Whitney Mincey, joined by a very special guest, Mr. DJ Remark from Bloodscribe Creations. Welcome.
Thank you.
I'm so glad to have you here because I actually love films, and you are beginning and growing this amazing film production company here in Jacksonville, Florida. So please tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so Bloodscribe Creations is a horror production company. We focus on horror and genre films. We just produced our first feature film here in Jacksonville back in April, and we are in the post-production phase right now. And we're trucking along, and we're hoping to have a final, a completed watchable film by January. So, kicking off the new year with some pretty good horror.
That's really exciting. And I can't wait to see a horror film that was created here in Jacksonville. So, of course, I want to hear a little bit about your backstory. So how'd you get into this? What led you to start this company?
So, trying to make a long story short, I actually started this journey in 5th grade.
Wow. Talk about a long story.
Yeah, when I'll try to footnote it, but I was very privileged to go to a performing arts middle school called Miller South in Akron, Ohio. I moved here to Jacksonville 3 years ago. So anyway, I started there, and it's a performing arts middle school, and I was in the drama program. And so in that program, Wendy Duke was my teacher, and she was very good at fostering passion for art and drama. And so I was in that program up until 8th grade, where that was the graduation process. You went to high school, and then I went to high school at a school that was also very invested in the arts, probably more than most of the schools in that district. And so I was part of the junior thespian program, and at that time I was really getting into movies. And my best friend at the time, who's also the co-founder of Bloodscribe, started getting me more into horror movies.
Got it.
I didn't see my first horror movie until I was 16.
Wow.
And I had to turn it off at about 10 minutes in.
Which one was it? Do you remember?
It was The Ring.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
it was The Ring. And but just seeing all the special effects in that movie just blew me away. And so I just immediately had a hunger for it. And so I started consuming more and more of that and watching the special features on the DVDs, the how-to, looking up makeup artists. And if I was a little more artistically inclined, I would probably be a special effects makeup artist, but I can't really do that. So, I just stick to directing and producing. But anyway, so after that in college, before I could legally drink, there was nothing really much to do, but there was a hookah bar called the Firefly, where I was going to college, and my friends and I would meet up at this hookah bar, and we would smoke a hookah, because you could smoke at 18 back then, and we would talk about movies, and we would talk about horror movies and just anything that we had seen, and have great discussions and arguments about movies. And that just really led that passion. And finally in 2018, after a brief hiatus from the scene, I decided I really needed to make this a thing. And so I started producing short films, and then in 2020 actually filed for a business license to start a production company. Moved to Jacksonville because I thought Jacksonville was prime for something like this.
Yes.
And it's really turned out to be that. There's a lot of talent here, and I'm very happy that I moved here and decided to actually start Bloodscribe here and make it a production company here.
Well, that's an incredible story. I'm glad you chose Jacksonville as the place to start this up and get it going. I would love to know your thoughts on what's on the horizon for Bloodscribe. What do you think is coming in the next couple of years?
Yeah, so like I said, we just produced our first feature film here. So once we see how that goes, we'll be able to tell more about what we want to do. However, we are trying to start up a brick and mortar here. We want to have an office with a actual production company where we are producing films in-house. We are reaching out, making relationships with distributors so that we can have direct distribution for our films and actually start enticing other filmmakers and creators to come here to Jacksonville. So within the next 3 years, we're hoping to have at least 2 films done, and also have an actual Bloodscribe building or space that we can say is here it is. This is where this is where you can come see, the projects being made.
This is where the magic happens.
This is where it is, right?
Right,
yeah.
exactly. Well, unfortunately, we're out of time, but I would love to thank you for coming in today. And if you want to learn more about Bloodscribe, make sure you head over to dailynewsnetwork.com. All of DJ's information would be listed there. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
We will see you next time on Legacy of Leaders.